Today we're going to do a walkthrough at 308 South LeBaron at Quality Emulsions. We had an incident here that we wanted to kind of review and kind of have some first do updates, and we're just going to talk about the incident we had and kind of review it. Again, we're in an industrial setting right here. We want to make sure that electrical, we're calling SRP before we get into any big power shut off. Get SRP in route. This is at the main gate here, coming off of LeBaron. And here's our city gas shut off right here. We have two shut offs right here. One coming into the meter, and then one after the meter. So if we can shut off the one coming into the meter, that supplies the 3-inch line to the whole plant. You want to make sure we secure that immediately. We're not too concerned about securing water supply to the building, and a building involved here today. We would be concerned about that. We want you to secure the water supply, as we don't want the sulfuric acid flowing out of this building. We want to make sure that we're securing this so the hazmat team can actually start containing the water.
Raw storage warehouse. They have a label 343, but most of the stuff in here is pretty benign. This is their bulk surfactants, some solidifying agents, stuff like that. The bulk of their flammable would be propane for their torches and their forklifts.
All right, we're going to head inside where they do the batch mixing and stuff. They have 3,050 gallons of sulfuric acid. As you turn right here, as we turn around, we can see some other plastic totes right here that will become involved in the mixing. We have some other placards right here, a UN number of 3082. So hazmat will be looked at up. But just concerned that we have other plastic totes in here that will be compromised by any type of fire management. Into this place is fully involved. You're going to have hydrochloric acid at 35%, maybe possibly mixing with the water coming out. So make sure we add on a hazmat, a 2-in-1 hazmat or a first alarm hazmat to any fire inside here. Yeah, we have some high storage of some materials right here, be compromised by heat impinging on these legs on the stands here. So be a fall hazard. Here is the boiler. The bottom portion is the boiler, and the top is a heating oil. This process right here takes the oil down there, heats it up, and then it goes in and it circulates, heating up the asphalt so they can actually put it in the trucks and use it, offload it and load it and mix it. So this is the process they do every day. The subject matter expert is the person that works in the office up there, knows this process, and immediately understands the whole process, what's going on. So this is why we want to talk to them first. They understand what process is going on. It falls under the 1982 fire code, and it does not have requirements for containment of their old batch plants and their old stock. So be very cautious when you walk through these places that is involved, or we're flushing large quantities of water. Its containment is now going to be walking through any type of hazardous materials. Nighttime operations could be also trip hazard. You can see the hoses underneath. In daytime, obviously you can see them, but at nighttime operations, when there's smoke involved, you might not see the tripping hazards, and you might not see the overhead. You knock off your mask, knock off your helmet. A lot of low-lying metal rails in here, so be cautious when you're walking around here. Or fall days 12th around 8:30 at night, we were responding down here for a structure fire. It started off as a warehouse fire, and then we actually were brought to attention. It started here. This incident was right here. The heating element right here, the boiler and the heating oil started warming up the asphalt tanks behind us. During that process, the water was ingested into the boiler, and we had a boiler boil over, where the water turned into steam and then relieved the oil out, spraying on top all the way up. There was 27,000 gallon tanks of emulsion. We can see right here, asphalt emulsions. That gave heavy hydrocarbon smoke, and it bellowed across and it went to the south. This is why we're dispatched here, and this is a boil over. So we have to remember, when we ever go into an industrial, we want to stop and talk to a subject matter expert before we actually walk into the gates and we add any water product to it. We could be actually making it worse, and maybe putting ourselves in harm's way. As you walk in, your first on-scene report should do a size up. Your size up of your building your site right here is, we're in an industrial setting. That should be in your mindset right now. As you look around, there's a side of do we have containment? Do we have a setting suppressional settings of fire retardant and other fire suppression systems in place. Obviously, this facility is a 1982 fire code, and you won't see those processes in place in this facility. A lot of tank storage, empty tankers over here in different states of capacities. And you see across the street, we have other supplies. We have Jet A, 600, 37 gallons of Jet A across the street, and other emulsion tanks. Another thing is your surrounding area is what do we have right to the south? We have the railroad, and hopefully they're not going to stop with any type of chemicals on the railroad right next to this place, but that is something else Incident Command is going to be concerned about. What is impinging on the railroad in contact? Coming through here, compressed air. So you might hear compressed air pumping, so it's very secure or very important. Why we actually talk to the subject matter expert. We do not want to secure power if it's something is keeping something in check. You want to talk to the plant manager before we do any of the securing any power. Something might be keeping something in check, keeping a valve open or closed. We want to make sure before we secure anything that we are making contact with them. So, other hazards on here, you can see around here the site, we have little propane heaters. We have a 100-gallon propane tank right here, but also we have 627 gallons in tank number 10 of Jet A. So the hazard areas around here could possibly, if you get inside here, could be hazardous to you and everyone else. You talked about having propane burners in here and heating elements for the asphalt, but we also have high voltage coming in here. Another hazard in this industrial setting right here we have to be careful with as we're coming into. You're bringing a lot of power into industrial, and we're bringing heat, and we're bringing Jet A. So we have a lot of elements that can be detrimental to us, so we want to make sure that we are concerned about. Also, we're in an industrial setting here. We have a lot of electrical power, but we also have electrical motors. These motors have been known to burn up and the belts on fire. So you might be coming into an electrical motor on fire and not one of these tanks on fire. These are the same things that are the areas that we had to have the plant manager help us identify what the problem is. One thing here, we just want to make sure that our first unit coming in here, Incident Command, is making a good sound judgment. You don't want to take a residential approach to an industrial setting. When we show up on scene report, industrial setting, we're trying to find a subject matter expert. We're trying to do a good 360. You not commit anyone inside a chain link fence if we don't know what's going on. There's a lot of high hazards here. We have electrical, we have high heat, we have a lot of chemicals here, hazardous materials. We have a lot of falling hazards here, and this could be a serious incident right here. We want to slow down and set this up for success. Also, remember, doing our quick knockdown on this is not the appropriate thing here in a hazardous material setting. You will actually add water and make it worse. So I want you to get a good size up, have the hazmat team come in here, and let's get some good eyes and make some good decisions on this before we commit any water or personnel trailer.